Dana, joining us now is former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who is also now a Fox News contributor. Mr. Secretary, good to see you and good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill. Great to be with you today.
So these online flight trackers are showing a whole lot of U.S. military hardware flying over to Europe and the Middle East to American bases, pretty similar to what we saw in the days leading up to Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. Do you get the sense that the Iranians are on the clock here and they're about to run out of time?
Bill, I most certainly do. You'll recall before Operation Midnight Hammer, as well as before the strike that was taken against Iran, which took out Soleimani in the first Trump administration, there was no notice. It came at a time that was unexpected, lots of preparation, but it wasn't the case that the president made an announcement that said negotiations are over, we're about to strike. He just actually did it. I suspect that's what we'll see this time as well. I've seen the comments from the Iranian foreign minister. That's all just silliness. There is apparently no overlap in Iran's willingness to actually concede on ballistic missiles, on their proxy forces, or even on nuclear enrichment. President Trump won't take a bad deal. I'm convinced of that. That means more pressure from the Israelis and from the United States of America.
And Iran's supreme leader has been busy on X, posting almost every day about this. Here's what he said in part yesterday, quote, "The Americans say, let's negotiate over your nuclear energy, and the result of the negotiation is supposed to be that you do not have this energy. If that's the case, there's no room for negotiation, but if negotiations are truly to take place, determining the outcome of negotiations in advance is wrong and foolish." Mr. Secretary, Iran has said that nuclear energy is their, quote, undeniable right. President Trump has said he will never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon here. So at this point, do you think Iran knows that the president is not bluffing?
Surely they must. But, Bill, remember, they don't think the way we do. They're not logical. This isn't about a business deal for them. This is about protection of a regime, the theocracy that's been in place now for 47 years. And so they are willing to make enormous sacrifices of their own people. The best evidence of that is they killed tens of thousands of their own citizens just in the last 30 days. So we tend to think about this in the West as a logical business negotiation. For them, this is about regime protection and sustainability. They're prepared to go down with the ship this time, it appears. I think President Trump and the Israelis understand that this is a moment where Iran is at its weakest point, not its strongest. And I can't imagine this much buildup of military power in the region without President Trump actually taking action that leads to an outcome that he's been seeking for an awfully long time against the Iranians.
Yeah, and while these negotiations are ongoing, there's also talks between Ukraine and Russia ongoing in Geneva. It's been hard getting everybody to the table. Everyone's at the table now, but the problem is they seem to be running into a brick wall on these negotiations when it comes to land concessions. Here's what Zelensky is saying in Axios, quote, "Emotionally, people will never forgive this. Never. They will not forgive me. They will not forgive the U.S., adding that Ukrainians can't understand why they would be asked to give up additional land. Mr. Secretary, I understand it'd be a tough pill for Ukraine to swallow. They've been defending this land. Russia hasn't been able to take it militarily yet, so why would they give it up? But in your opinion, do they have to consider doing that in order to somehow get an end to this war?
I think the end of this war actually takes place only when Vladimir Putin feels pressure sufficient to give up the ship. He doesn't feel that today, so he's going to stay at this. I don't think there's any land deal today Vladimir Putin would actually take, short of all of Ukraine falling under Russian influence, if not Russian control. I've watched this. We're now coming, we're 2-3 days from the 4th anniversary of this conflict. The Ukrainians have agreed to many concessions, things that Putin has wanted that they didn't want to give up. Vladimir Putin has given not a single concession to date. This is what's going to have to change. It's going to require more time and more pressure. I think the Ukrainian population is both tired and yet committed. They've demonstrated they're willing to fight for their own land and their own country and their political independence. I don't see that changing.
Yeah, whole lot going on in the world right now. Appreciate your time and your insights, Mr. Secretary. Have a good morning.
Thank you, Bill. You have a great day too, sir.